Buffalo area is paralyzed after blizzard conditions whipped through the area shortly before noon today. The combined effect of the Arctic temperatures and the strong winds between 40 and 60 degrees below zero.
And helicopters, 38 of them, are flying rescue and reconnaissance over western New York.
Buffalo gets visits from the governor, plows, equipment, and manpower from the Army and National Guard.
Governor Hugh Carey is requesting President Carter to declare Buffalo and Erie County a major disaster area. Hundreds of motorists have abandoned their automobiles to search for emergency shelter.
Stay in your car. All I can tell you is if you are stranded in your car, remain calm. There's a chance you could get killed out there.
Hey everybody, good afternoon. I'm Graham Nolan and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the Compass Comics moving over to Fund My Comic. We've never used this platform before. I've always wanted to. It just wasn't sure whether the numbers are there, and we will find out because we're going to take one of our successful campaigns and cross-launch it over here. Starting right now. So welcome. I wanted to talk a little bit about the campaign and also about the platform, how it differs from the platform we've been using. If you are part of my email list, I wrote something yesterday explaining it. And if you're not, go over to compasscomics.com and sign up as a subscriber. That way you'll get caught up. You'll be in all the emails. I don't abuse it. I don't send out a shit ton of emails all the time. But I like to keep you informed of stuff that's happening with the company, with upcoming things, whether it be shows or launches of books, that kind of stuff. Plus, you'll get the Sunshine State comic strip sent to you every Monday. To put a little smile on your face to start your week. So what's wrong with that? So go over to compasscomics.com and sign up for that. And then you'll be in the loop. Fund My Comic has been around for a little while. And what I like about that is it's non-censored. It appeals to the libertarian in me. They'll let you, do any kind of story that you want. There's no gatekeeping like there has been on years ago, particularly on Kickstarter. And then a couple of years ago, Indiegogo went through a round of shadow banning on all of us, or a lot of us, I should say. The interesting thing was that shadow ban campaign was the Ghost of Matacumba Key, which was my most successful campaign to date. I must have worked it hard or something because of the shadow ban, but that campaign raised like $220,000. It was an excellent campaign. But in the Fund My Comic one, they don't do that. And Luke Stone, who runs it, is a good guy, and I've been anxious, as I said, to give it a whirl over here. One of the things I like about it is its setup is very much like the old Indiegogo. Which brings me to one of the other reasons why I wanted to cross-launch the campaign over here is Indiegogo has complicated things for the creator. They were bought out by a Polish gaming company, and they've completely revamped their platform. Now, I'll say this: there's a lot of good that's come out of that, like being able to finance large pledges. I thought that was great. They have this thing called end game at the end. So the last 10 minutes of a campaign before it's going to close, if you get a backer, the clock resets 10 minutes. So it becomes very exciting as the clock is counting down, and then somebody comes in, a new backer comes in, bam, it goes back to 10 minutes. And when we closed the other night, I think it was Wednesday at midnight, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. So I think it gets people excited. So that's a good thing. It's a little more difficult on the back end for the creators because of phraseology they use, overly complicated menus. I mean, I've had multiple communications with their service to get things squared away. So that's just a little bitching and moaning on my end, only because they've made it more difficult for us. And some of that's a learning curve, and we'll figure that out as a platform. But Fund My Comic is very straightforward. They don't have add-ons. So one of the advantages of doing this for me with this campaign is that it becomes sort of a la carte for you. So in the Indiegogo campaign, there was some things that were add-ons, and there were some things that were only in the Ultimate Collector's Box. And now we have a couple of those things that are out of the box. Well, they're still in the box, but you can get them on their own. So I think that's kind of cool too. So let's say you backed it on Indiegogo and you didn't want to get the everything box. So you got a book, maybe an add-on of a challenge coin, something like that. But you wanted the Shinu plushie, which was only in the box. Well, some of those are available now to purchase individually within limited quantities, because there was only so much, particularly of the plushie that was made. So so that's a positive, and I'm anxious to see how people will react to that with the campaign. So it just gives you options, and I think options are good. I'm at the point where, and as I said in my email to everybody, that I have no obligation or allegiance, I should say, to any platform. There are means to the end, and that means to the end is to get my product to you, to my backers. And I'll go where my backers are. If there's Indiegogo backers that like that platform, I'll be there. If you don't like it and you're not going to back it on Indiegogo, and people have told me that, then I'm on Fund My Comic. You're not into Fund My Comic, you don't like their setup, you're a Kickstarter person, great. I'll be on Kickstarter too. I'll be on all three of those platforms while for this campaign. This is different. I've used Kickstarter before. In fact, as I said in the email, I'm one of the crowdfunding OGs, because I crowdfunded, or attempted a crowdfund, of Joe Frankenstein back in 2015 on Kickstarter. So that's how far back I go for that. And I like it. I like the platform, but then there were some problems with them, going after conservative thinking or conservative products and stuff like that. So I wrote them off, but they've cleaned house over there. There's a completely different crew, and it's like not buying a Ford car because Henry Ford was a anti-Semite. Okay, it makes him a piece of shit, but that was a long time ago, and the company's different now. And it's the same thing with these guys. People come and go in these companies, and when they're treating you or doing stuff bad, you don't use them. When they change their corporate culture, okay, well, then maybe you can open a door, because it's all about doing business, folks. And that's what I want to do. I want to do business. I want to do it with you. And I'm willing to go where you are. So that being said, let's pop the campaign up here and see how it looks. It just went live at 3 o'clock. I haven't refreshed it, so let's see if we have any backers for it that have come on board. We got 3 backers. Okay, that's cool. Very, very cool. All right. So if you're just tuning in, or you don't know what the Shinu is, or who the heck I am, let's go over the campaign. So we started with the trailer. The Shinu 77 is sort of the prequel to my original Shinu, and it's really it's a horror tale, to be sure, but it's also a story of redemption. And it's about a man with a past. He's a truck driver, and he gets caught in a storm. And it's 1977. The storm of the century is paralyzing Buffalo, New York, when trucker Hank Donovan comes across a scene of unimaginable horror. A car stuck in the snow, its occupants shredded to pieces, the only survivor, a newborn baby. Driven by a desperate need for redemption from his past in Vietnam, remember this is 1977, so he's still a young man. He vows to protect the infant at any cost. Not only a young man, but a man with very fresh memories. But the snow hides a predator far worse than the storm. The Shinu, a ravenous creature stalking the blood-soaked drifts, hungry for its next kill. Can Hank outrun his demons and the monster before it claims them both? Well, there's one way to find out, isn't there? So we have an exclusive FMC cover variant that I've done. And what's going to be cool with this is that there's going to be, if you've had any of my other books, I'll have a what's called a spot UV on it. So the cover is like a matte finish, and then the spot UV will go over these window panes. It's kind of a gloss. So it's going to make it look like you're looking through these window panes at the Shinu on the other side. So it's going to give it a really, really cool look. This is the main cover. And this is the 70s trade dress. This trade dress is modeled after Marvel's giant size issues that started in like 1974. Also have the bombastic word balloons on there. This is a signed copy. This is the well, on the other campaign, it was called the signed copy, so it'll be the same here. Here's the first 8 pages of our story. Actually, it's the first 10 because I just finished 2 more and put them up there. So you can see what's happening here. This couple giving birth in the car, and then something terrible happens. And our hero, Hank Donovan, comes across it, and the creature is still at it, scares him off, and then goes to check out on the scene. Now, the Shinu is done in black and white with gray tones, and the only color in it is red, and that appears whenever there's blood. That's what I did for the first book. It's very effective, evocative, and very, very cool. So here's that. Here's one of the things that was an add-on in the other one. 2 things, actually: the challenge coin and the hat. So you can get those as you can just get them on their own perk level now here, because there are no add-ons here on this platform. And then this one here is the this one is only in the everything the Ultimate Collector's Box. This is going to be a double page wraparound cover, I should say, not double page. It's a wraparound cover that's going to have like a metallic feature to it. It's this blood red cover, blood red virgin cover, because there won't be any trade dress on it. So it's going to look just like this, but only more metallic looking. Super cool. And that's in the exclusive box. We also have the opportunities for some sketch covers, which is really cool. Oh, yeah, let's go back on this side here. I should probably add some of those larger images. But here's the Shinu plushie. So you can get that individually. Only 500 of those were made. Only 20 are going to be available in this campaign here. And if you missed the first one, here's your chance to catch up. We have the first Shinu and the main cover of Shinu 77. These are both first printings. The original Shinu is a first printing as well. The Mother Trucker hat. This is the hat that Hank Donovan's wearing in our story. It's got that 70s design and cool. As soon as that one comes in, I'm going to be wearing that at conventions, I can tell you. We have our challenge coin. This is another in the series of Compass Comics challenge coins. And if you can't catch me at a show, because I don't do many, I'm going to have a wraparound on the book for sketch covers. And you could do a head sketch, pick your character that you want me to draw, and or a 3/4 bust sketch. That's, like from the waist up. And these are the type of things I do at conventions. Super cool. Same price that you'd pay at a convention, only you're getting the book for free. So that's a good deal. Only 10 of these on the 3/4 busts and 10 of the head sketches are going to be available. And if you just want a blank one, you can get that too. And you could take it to a convention and have your favorite artist do it. Why that favorite artist isn't me, I don't know. But, that's something we can work out later. So there we go. That is what we got going right now. Let me see who's here in the chat. Dr. Mask is the first one in. Hello, Dr. Mask. Leg Kick 1 is here. Hellas Bourgeoisie. Rob Fellows from across the pond is here. On the move, so we'll catch up when I can later. But the very best of luck, and let's make Yuletide Chenoo-tide. Thank you, Rob. Sheldon Martin says good afternoon, unless you're on the West Coast. Rick 1662 is here. Eric Huffles is here. Hello, Eric. Marcus Kellegrew, hail all. I'm actually working. And walking 666 says hello. Oh, let's check this out. Back the exclusive Shinu 77 FMC variant. FMC is a great platform. I've backed 45 different projects on there. No problems at all. Good to know. Good to know. Chris Thacker is here. Hello, Chris. Rick Saylor. Captain Shenanigans. I prefer paying for shipping up front, not having it hanging out there. I hope all CG projects move to FMC. Yeah, that's another issue that some folks had with the new Indiegogo, is that they don't collect the shipping until it's ready to ship, until you close down that late pledging. That's when they collect addresses and the shipping. And I understand that, and that is an advantage, that the shipping is here too. It's right up front, and you pay for it immediately. So, a couple months down the road, you don't get dinged again. I get that. I don't think it would matter to me, but I know a lot of people have complained about that. So that's why, another reason why I've decided to move over here. So it's just more up front. Spawn of Sprang. I like that. I met Dick Sprang. Heck of a nice guy. Shoemad 1000 says, sounds great. Smart to cover all 3 platforms. Good luck to you. Thank you. Reviews Kino. Hail the chat. Timotheus says, hello, everyone. Hail, everyone. Caleb Reynolds is here. Woo, howdy, Graham. Hail the CG. Dr. Mass says, just talking about this is making me cold. True Chemo says, the Shinu was great. Can't wait to read more. Thank you. Katie Did is here. Hello, Katie. She's digging on the plushie. Well, you can have your second favorite artist draw on the Shinu sketch cover. True enough. True enough. Rick got the box deal on the Indiegogo campaign. Thank you, Rick. Pity Ma is here. This is Hail Graham, Hail Chat. Rick Morrison, hi all. I don't like the new Indiegogo, but already back there. No, I get it. And I appreciate you not canceling out over there. It just keeps it easier to keep the campaigns, without back and forth. Received my Escape from Monster Island last night. Looking forward to reading it. Excellent. Excellent. Marcus Buckley is here. Hello, Marcus. Salute, brother. Count on my support, whatever platform you use. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Look at Marcus's image there, his avatar. That's the wraparound cover, paper cover to Detective 700. This the original art is hanging up right over there in my studio, by the way. Chris Thacker, any thoughts to do what Andy did and give folks the ability to grab this platform's exclusive if you backed other places already? No. I think it's important to keep the campaign separate, so that if you do it the other way, it's not exclusive anymore. And the whole point is to keep it exclusive to the platform. So it's okay. You can cross pollinate. Like if you got the exclusive stuff on the Indiegogo campaign, then just get the exclusive cover on this one. I mean, it'll all probably ship together. Depending on how Julie works that. That's her purview. But that way it keeps it exclusive to the campaign, which I think is important. So you're going to be off Indiegogo for good? No, I'm what's the word I want to say? I'm optimistic that we can work the bugs out of this new system that they have going. If it's a problem and they don't work those bugs out, then I will not use it because it becomes too difficult. All right. Let me let's go back here. This is probably like the old Indiegogo where you have to refresh, right? Yeah, it doesn't automatically refresh. Okay. All right. So we got 3 backers so far. All for the exclusive cover. Excellent. We're gonna do tonight on the Bros. We're gonna do a more traditional launch party over there, and then we're gonna also do a year-end Christmas party because this will be the last Bros that we're gonna be doing for this year because of the holiday coming up next week, and then we usually take those 2 weeks off to get through New Year's, and then we start again. So keeping it positive, we're gonna, spew a little positivity tonight to everybody. A lot of crazy stuff has been happening lately in the world, and I think we have to remember we are in the season of hope. The Christ child to be born, to give us hope, and we got to keep that in mind. And so I want to do something positive tonight. Over on the Bros, which is on my channel tonight, because what we do is whoever has a launch, we'll just swap out whose night it is, and do it that way. That way we can do launching from the Bros site, which is great. A lot of fun. So answers that. But then I pay shipping again. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, there's no roundabout way for that. If you want the exclusive, you got to pay. You know, I can't help that, Chris. We're always in the season of hope, and help. Oh, Rick's looking forward to the landing party tomorrow. Yeah, that's a good one. We got a good one. Good episode tomorrow. All of our yesterdays. One of the best of the series, which is surprising since it's a third season episode. And we've had a lot of stinkers. A lot of stinkers. Okay. So we got 114 people watching right now. Please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you would. That way you will get notifications when we're going to go live. And again, we want to make sure that everybody gets on my email list too. So go over to compasscomics.com and there'll be a little pop-up window, and just, put your email in there, hit subscribe, and then off you go. Then you'll have updates on everything that's happening at Compass Comics, and that'll all be great. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a cool variant cover, I think. I really like the idea. I love this image. I did this originally as a sticker, I believe, in the original campaign, but I liked it so much I've turned it into a couple things. And one of them was going to be, I wanted a different cover for the FMC campaign, and I thought this was really cool. I mean, I had AI, ran this through AI to see what it would do with it, and it was pretty freaky. I'll show it to you if you want to see it. Let me see if I can find it here. Let's see here. Let's see. Where is that? Maybe it's in the recently saved section. Ah, there it is. Okay. Pop it up here real quick. There we go. Okay. So this is what AI did with it. And it's real creepy. Isn't that neat? How could that not be a really cool scene from a movie, right? Looking out a window and seeing that thing there. That would be really cool. I got to get somebody to make a movie of this, because it wouldn't be that expensive if you think about it. There's very few locations, a lot of outdoor scenes with snow, so you could green screen that. Sets, you have the interior of a house, you have a roof of a house, you've got the interior of a Timmy Ho's coffee shop, and pretty much that's it. Then it's all outside stuff. So, few sets, practical effects. You could do the monster as a costume type thing with practical effects, with maybe some digital enhancements, and not a huge cast either, so yeah, this any producers are out there are listening, hit me up. I wrote this thing with the idea that it was a movie, not a comic, the original Shinu. So oh, what did I do? I hit the wrong button there. Sorry about that. Now let's throw this back over. There we go. Caleb says, woo, howdy, Graham. Hail the CG. I think I covered that already. I did. Dr. Mass says the problem with Game found Indiegogo charging shipping later is customers can miss an email. I had that happen and had to double back with the creator months later. Oh, well, that's not good. Travis has a different opinion. Dr. Mask has to jet, going to watch my son's school bowling. Oh, cool. Good luck with FMC. Thank you, Dr. Mask. Thanks for stopping in. Rick says with some of the videos you posted, you should make a Shinu short film. It would be pretty cool. Yeah, I agree. As long as they get the teeth right. Well, that's going to be key, isn't it? You know? Remember that creature that lived underneath that, it lived in the crate that was underneath, I think it was a set of stairs in Creep Show. It was like all mouth practically with all those teeth. And Hal Holbrook was trying to get his nagging wife, Adrienne Barbeau, under there. And the thing eats her. Marcus is still working. He's in and out of the stream. That's all right. We're here. We're here for you. What else we got here? I think this is in reference to that image I just showed. It's fun working with that stuff. You know, you hate it. You can hate it, but it's here to stay. AI is here to stay. It's going to be a tool, and how you choose to use it is going to be entirely up to the creators. You know, I found uses for it that are very helpful in my drawing. I had to do a shot of a car, and I couldn't find reference for the angle that I needed. So I sketched it. I drew it roughly in the angle that I needed. And I said to AI, generate this realistically. And it did it. And then I had this image that I could use to outline and get the shape and proportions and details right in the angle that I needed it. And it was super simple and fast. And any tool that can help me speed up the process is a good thing. As long as I'm not just taking that image and dropping it in and saying, oh, okay, I drew this. You know, that's bullshit. That takes the artist out of the process. And I'm not cool for that. Yes, Sheldon, Adrienne Barbeau is the doctor lady in the Swamp Thing movie. She's also the radio DJ in one of my favorite horror movies, and one that was an inspiration for the Shinu too, and that is The Fog, John Carpenter's The Fog. I always love. She works. She has this radio station on a lighthouse on the north western coast of California, really, really cool setting in this area. And she's looking out and she can see the fog coming in. She's on the radio and she's trying to warn everybody in the town that the fog is coming into the town. There's something in the fog. And I thought that was so cool. And when I was first inspired to do this book, The Shinu, I was thinking as I was watching this snowstorm coming across Lake Erie, what if that snowstorm brought something with it like the fog did? The fog brought these ghosts, these pirates. And I thought, well, what if the Shinu brought this ice creature, this snow creature? So how's that for 10 degrees of separation between Adrian Barbeau and the Shinu? Waiting for a Joe Frankenstein Shinu crossover. Well, I'm going to tell you, we do have a Compass Comics character showing up in Shinu 77. And a lot of things get explained that have been left a little bit oblique in my Nolan verse. So we're going to fill in a few more gaps in this book like we did at the end of Ghosts of Matacumba Key. And if you haven't read Ghosts of Matacumba Key, again, that's at compasscomics.com. You can get that. You can order that, and it'll ship tomorrow. All the books that are there are in stock. The Monster Island books are not available because we're still fulfilling the previous campaign. Oh, and yeah, I should fill you guys in on that because I'm sure a lot of you guys have backed those campaigns. The Escape from Monster Island campaign is just about done. The CGC books arrived just a couple hours ago. So we'll inventory those, make quality control, I should say, make sure there's no cracks or anything in the slabbing, and also make sure that we got decent grades on it. But those will start going out, and we should have most of the campaign, including the Kickstarter exclusive, done by next week. That's the hope. And then we will pivot after the holidays into shipping the Sunshine State books. I started working last night on the Kings instead of drawing the subject of the night. I sat there and drew remarks in my books. So I did about 20 of them last night, and I've got 40, 50. I got about another 70 to go of different remarks I have to add into these books. So I'll be working on those so that as soon as Escape from Monster Island's finished fulfilling, those books will be, remarked and the other ones signed, and then we can start shipping. Oh, thank you, Rick. Thanks. I was wondering about the CGC ones. All the comics I backed are great quality. Much appreciated. Yeah, we put a lot of effort into the quality of the books. And I don't mean the story and drawing elements. That, of course, you always try to do. But to help separate me as a publisher, I want to make sure that the publishing quality is the best it could be. That means paper choices, editions like Spot UV or matte finishes being added to things. One of the things I've always disliked ever since we went away from newsprint paper was how glossy the paper was. There's always a sheen on it, so it doesn't matter if you're reading under a light or you're out on a chaise lounge in the sun. There's all this glare, and you got to move your book around to avoid that glare. So I think I had a couple books printed on that paper because that was the standard, and I just said, this is no good. What else we got? So I found these different coated matte coatings, which I have been applying to my books, so that you can read them in daylight and not have to angle them away because of the glare. That always was a pain. Well, Pitty Ma received her tracking number info today for Escape from Monster Island. I'm excited to binge read. Excellent. And as soon as those books are in everybody's hands, then what we have left over will appear on the website. We overprint on every book so that we have inventory for the website. "70 remarks. How long do those take?" Well, it took me, let's see, we went on at 7:30 and 8:39. So it took me, I think, 2.5 hours to do 19 of them. So you could do the math there, Sheldon. Which AI am I using for image generation? I'm mostly using the Google Gemini with the Nano Banana. It seems to work pretty good. But I've used Grok too for some of the motion things. Like I did some for my Monster Island characters. Those came out kind of cool. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll just go one more round here for anybody who hasn't, who's coming in late, who isn't aware of what's going on. First, we'll refresh, see if we picked up any more backers. Well, we picked up 3 more backers. So we got 6 backers, $420. Excellent. We're 84% to that goal. We got 30 days to go. Very cool. Thank you, guys. So here is your variant cover. Well, I got a bigger image. I'll show you those. There it is, right there. This is the FMC exclusive variant cover. This cover is going to have, as I mentioned, spot UV on the glass panes here. So it's all shiny looking with a matte finish in the background. And that way it'll look like we're looking through glass at him. Super, super cool looking. And here's the Ultimate Collector's Box. This is the best deal around, particularly for shipping, because to ship this entire box is the cost of like buying 2 books. And you get everything in here. You get the cover A, which is the main cover, cover B, which is the 70s style cover, the exclusive FMC variant cover, the exclusive blood red wraparound cover, the signed cover E, which I'll show you in a sec. You get the snow globe, the challenge coin, the mother trucker hat, and the rare Shinu plushie. Super great deal, and you're going to save a ton on shipping with that. Here's the signed one. There's the plushie, which I have right here. Hold on, let me make me big so you can see him. This is how big he is. Has a heart. Oop, nope, he's got a heart. A lot of fun. I like to play with this with my granddaughter. Hi, Joni. Okay, so back to it. Here's the 70s trade dress. It's modeled after Marvel's giant size books. And this is the signed cover. Over here we got the mother trucker hat that Hank Donovan's wearing in our story, which I will be wearing at conventions. And then the other cool things is we have a head sketch cover, and we've got a 3/4 bust cover. Okay, these are what I do at conventions. You know, they're tight, you know, marker drawings. You pick the character's head, pick the 3/4 bust character, and I do it on the sketch cover. And underneath that cover is the actual printed cover, of course, and then the book inside. These are what I charge at conventions, but you're also getting the book for free. If you don't want me to draw it and you got a favorite artist you want to take it to, you got a blank one. And you can get anybody you want to do a sketch in. Here's a couple large images of the pages I just finished. This is page 10 and 11, I believe, or 11 and 12. I think it's 10 and 11. They're really coming out nice. You know, I'm loving the vibe in these. It's what I try to do with my storytelling is immerse the reader in it. Now, you know, if you've ever listened to me, you know my edict about storytelling. You know, clarity, dynamics, immersion is what I preach to students and anybody who will listen. Tell the story clearly. Don't lose the reader. Tell it in a dynamic way that makes it exciting. And if you can do that, you have a chance of doing the hardest part. That's the third part, and that's immersion. That means immersing your reader into your story for as long as it takes them to read it. So let's say the average comic takes you 20 minutes to read. They're not thinking about their taxes. They're not thinking about bills. They're not thinking about the relationship with their, you know, boyfriend or whatever. You're locked in. You believe you are in Buffalo. You believe that this snow is falling, that the wind is howling. You know, that's what I mean about immersion, is to really draw you into your story. It's very hard to do. A lot of artists are fantastic artists, and they put so much detail in, you don't know where to look, and so you lose the clarity. So without the clarity, you've lost immersion. If you're putting stuff in there that doesn't tell the story or keep your reader immersed, then you're failing. And it's very hard to do. I can't do it all the time. I try to, but that's my goal. You know, I'm always reaching for that that brass ring, if you will. And here's a larger shot of the blood red wraparound cover. So take a look at that. All right, my friends. I'll just do one more quick refresh here. All right. So that is what we got going on today. We've just launched it. I appreciate everybody coming in. Oh, wait. Got some questions here. Reviews Kino. What about CG King's cover? I missed the last campaign. As I said to Chris Thacker, you know, I'm trying to keep the exclusives to the campaigns that they belong to and not cross-pollinate. Because if you cross-pollinate, they're no longer exclusive. That's the importance of getting in when you can. The 24-hour cover you're talking about was 24 hours at the launch, and then I put it back up for 24 hours at the close too. And so the only way to get that is the Ultimate Collector's Box on the Indiegogo campaign. Oh, Pity Mouse says Ultimate Collector's Box is an awesome deal. Thank you. Backed on Indiegogo. Perfect. How's that for timing? Have you settled on the true origin of the Shinu? Continued with mystery or later explained? Continued with mystery. Although there is more information about the Shinu in this book in Shinu 77, and we're going to find out something that's driving the Shinu in this story, which when you realize what it is, I think you're going to be terrified, to put it mildly. So that's kind of going to be a really cool reveal. Love the 70s issue. 64 giant pages. Rick says, another great campaign video. Thanks, Graham. Always informative and entertaining. Much appreciate your support, Rick. Pastmaster Dan just woke up from a nap. That's not the worst thing you could be doing, that's for sure. Okay, my friends, I'm going to sign off. I've got remarks to do and other work ahead of me today. And then I've got to host the show tonight at 7 o'clock. So it'll be here on this channel for the professionals. We're going to do year-end holiday party, but also do a formal Fund My Comic launch. So I hope you guys will tune in. I appreciate you coming in this afternoon. It's an odd time, I know, but I had to have a bros meeting at 12, so I had to get that out of the way. I want to make sure I had enough time to do this. Wasn't sure those meetings can last a long time because we get chatty. So that's that. I will see you again here tonight. And until then, have a great rest of your day. And thanks again for tuning in. Bye-bye.
What time is it?
5:30, sir.